introduce Steph, Sammy, come over too. So they can see you on Zoom. So Sammy has been working to get licensed. So she is going to be leaving us at the front desk in a couple of weeks to be an agent here with all of you guys. So we're super supportive of her in doing that. So this is Steph. Her first day was yesterday. And she is going to be our new market center coordinator at the front desk. So for the next couple of weeks, Sammy and Steph are both going to be working together, and Sammy will be introducing her to a lot of you guys, and she'll be learning the ropes. But we're very excited for Sammy, and we're very excited for Steph. So when you see Steph at the front, introduce yourself, and we're so happy she's here.
Yeah. And Sammy's a new realtor.
Yes. Almost.
She's already got leads. She's already got her database. Like, she's rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Yes,
Excited.
you're here.
I'm happy. I'm excited.
Thanks, Steph. All right, guys. Thanks.
That'll last for a day.
Well, like 9 hours so far.
Because she came back today, day 2.
Yeah.
So that's always a good sign. Right after this, we have book club for Atomic Habits, hosted by Josh and Chad from Academy. So thank you guys for hosting.
And if you haven't read, don't make that stop you from coming. The conversations are great. There's great ideas flowing around the room. It's a lot of fun.
It really does
Yeah.
make you want to have
Mhm.
some good habits in your life. So,
It does. Yeah.
Okay, next up. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we have Austin's command class, and he's going to be showing the referral section. Do you want to come talk about it?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so referrals is awesome. If you guys have not taken a look into the referrals tab, you're missing out. There's a lot to go, there's a lot going on in this applet that is extremely useful for agents to network and to I'll fix that. But to network and to just reach out to other agents around Keller Williams and create that business, create referral business that way. We've had a lot of success with agents here and there using it, whether it's based off of language, based off of production, things like that, based off of communities, KW communities that you're a part of. So we'll talk all about that and how that all works. Make sure that you are set up properly so that if someone does happen to go look for you in the referral network, that they're like, I want to work with this person. This person looks established, well, organized in Keller Williams, and then they'll reach out to you and send you referrals, and vice versa. You can send referrals outside of the state. So cool stuff.
In the
country,
world,
the
outside of
world.
the country, yeah,
Yeah.
anywhere in the world.
Mhm.
So,
And it's so easy. So
Mhm.
just so you know, like when I have a client that says, hey, we're going to move to I'll back up. I had a client call me that said that her brother passed away in Wyoming, in a small town in Wyoming. And do I have a referral? Of course, I don't know anyone in the entire state. I've never been there, but I went into the referral network and I found the closest market center. And I picked 2 agents, called them, said, you know this area? I had the address. They both knew it. I did a short interview, and then I gave both names to her, and I asked her to meet with both of them when she got there, because she was the person that had to manage the funeral and everything. And I checked in with her last week. It's all going very, very well. She picked one of them. It's a little higher energy. I thought she might. And it was that easy. I probably have maybe 30 minutes probably invested in it, making the phone calls and tracking them down, trying to have a conversation. So it's not a lot. And I'll get a referral fee on a $300,000 house, which is not to what we usually see around here, but I have a client that's super happy, and then she just referred her neighbor to me. So the referral network is truly an amazing tool if you're not using it.
And the map works really well. I was just helping one of our agents look up the Palm Springs Market Center yesterday too. So it's helpful to even see, if you want to see where Keller Williams locations are, you can search just for the actual market center. So Austin will show you all that. Show up at 2:00 tomorrow with your computers. And if you have other command questions or things, he can also teach those or go through those then as well. Oh, Peter's not in the room. So Peter came into our office yesterday and said, what are we doing for the holiday this week? The holiday.
He loves Mark.
Peter loves Cinco de Mayo. So he will be making margaritas. Originally, we were thinking, let's do like a happy hour 3 to 5, but it's a Friday on Cinco de Mayo. So we realized you guys might not want to be hanging out with us from 3 to 5 on Friday, Cinco de Mayo. So we made it earlier, not to encourage behavior, but we're doing a happy hour from 1 to 3. Peter's bringing margaritas. We'll have chips and snacks. So just stop by, have a margarita, kick off Cinco de Mayo.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Peter and I shared the same barber, and in the last 2 slides, Austin has been changing his hair, changing his head, his hairstyle, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just so.
I'm taking it personally.
Oh. It's just a canvas, a blank canvas.
Okay.
whatever on it.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. Mhm. Yeah.
Hair. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
And if you haven't ever had Peter's margaritas, they're good.
Mhm.
Just eat a
Be
big one.
cautious. Yeah, eat a lot of food. Chip with them chips. So anyways, hopefully stop by and join us for Cinco de Mayo on Friday. And then next week is Red Day. It's crazy to think that it's here already. So block that out of your calendar. The whole office closes, every Keller Williams closes. So show up at the Rebuilding Center at 9 a.m. If you pre-registered, Sydney ordered a t-shirt for you. If you did not register, still come. I think we ordered a couple extra shirts. So show up at 9 a.m., volunteer from like 9 to noon. There'll be different jobs depending on what you want to do in different areas of the warehouse. And then right after, you guys will be going to Lustra Pearl, which is right down the street, for food and drinks and celebration of the work back within the community. So hopefully,
Private.
Mhm.
yes,
So it's private, we get the whole place
Mhm.
ourselves. So,
yes,
awesome.
an exclusive event. And
Mhm.
it's Cameron's friend who owns it. So,
Mhm.
but everyone should really show up, even if you can only come for part of it or a little bit. It's a really cool experience
Fun.
in the heart of Keller Williams culture.
Mhm.
Okay, next up, May birthdays, right?
I got that.
Oh, is that next? Okay,
Whoa.
lots of birthdays. Grace tomorrow. Yeah. Oh my gosh, but happy birthday to all of our May birthdays. There sure are a lot of May birthdays. So we should have a party all month long, but happy birthday to everyone on there.
God, I'm pretty scared.
Let's do-
That's gonna-
I know they're all over. Let's talk about the May newsletter.
Yeah, so just another reason, I'm not gonna go in depth this time, just for the sake of time, but for people who weren't here last week or the week before, when I start, I don't know. The May newsletter is out, so there's a quick little, it's a 4-step process to get it. Go into command, click on smart plans, search hashtag KWPP in the library and add it to your own library, and you'll have it to send out to your clients. I was just talking to Mark. There you go. He just, he downloaded it to be sending out to his clients. It's really useful, and you're welcome to change it, modify it the way that you want. But it is fully fleshed out. It's ready to go if you wanted to send it in less than 10 minutes to your database. So
Yeah, and Austin is taking the time to create these every month for you guys, because
yeah,
we want to be able to provide more content that's really easy to send out to your sphere and your network. So you can switch out any of the articles, anything like that, or if there's other things like this that would be helpful to you, let us know. But yeah, Austin's taking the time to pre-make it for everyone just to make it
that's
easy.
not a guilt trip. But it's like, I understand, like, it's gonna revamp, it's gonna ramp up,
Yeah.
we'll see the numbers go up as people.
Yeah, that was
know
supposed
it.
to elevate to like the
Yeah.
quality of it, because
No,
it's
that's-
like real.
oh,
It's
thank
not
you.
like just like a,
Austin's
off
working-
the
he's
shelf.
crying over.
it's not like off the
Yeah.
shelf national thing. It's
Yeah.
like a local.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
newsletter
that's-
for
organic.
you.
And like,
Organic.
we just
It's
had
really
demand
efficient.
for it for a while, and we were just trying to figure out how to make it work, and this was a workaround that we were able to kind of, I don't know where we figured it out, or who in the Northwest region chimed in and mentioned it to us, that we can go through smart plans, and was like, oh my gosh, like, we can share designs through smart plans. So I mean, it's something that's been in demand for a lot of agents at this office, and so we're just happy we can finally provide it to you guys whenever you want it. So
Awesome. Mark.
I'll put out a testimonial. The the first year I hit 10 million in production, the one system I put in place was a monthly newsletter, just like the one he's
Mhm.
creating.
That's awesome. So even if you
Like
drop the
same
ball
part.
and forget to reach out to your clients enough or get too busy, at least you have a newsletter. At least you have something, right?
No excuses.
No excuse.
No excuse.
Okay, next up,
Be accountable.
we implemented Broker Bucks last month, which is kind of exciting. So, we want to grow with good people and we want to encourage you guys, if you have a transaction with somebody good, to want to refer them. So we got the idea from Family Reunion from another market center. So if you refer an agent, a licensed agent over to us and we set a meeting with them, it doesn't matter if they actually join or not, you will receive $100 as a thank you for the referral. And Dwight and I were just talking about, is that enough? So we're gonna double it for May. See how that
Doubling it
goes?
for me. I have someone that
200.
I am about ready to refer and 100's not enough. So I said, let's double it. Let's double it for May.
Got it, right. And thank you to Bradley and Rochelle for referring people last month. So that's exciting. And, just like you guys wanna show your clients the appreciation when they refer people, we wanted to reward the behavior of actually referring, not just if they joined, so. There's
Plus
some
they get to
fine
go in your
print.
downline, right?
Yes, and they go in your downline and build that long-term profit share. And as we continue to be more profitable throughout the rest of the year, that's profit share that you can earn. Go to the fine print real quick. They just have to actually come in for a meeting or do a meeting on Zoom. They can join a team, and agents on teams can do that or be talking about a team. It just doesn't apply if they're from another KW office locally. And it doesn't apply if they join somewhere, a different Keller Williams, just us. So those are the rules. Okay, let's talk about our main topic today. And what inspired us was, Austin, will you pull up on the screen the seminar playbook and then maybe pass around those ones up there? Actually, Cal, will you or just get those starting going around? So at Family Reunion, they came out with some different playbooks for lead generation that are not like some of them were the typical things like open houses and social media, but there were some other different ideas that maybe not everyone is doing. So this one is on seminars. So we'll post this if you are on Zoom, and if you're in the room, we have printouts, but it basically goes through all the ins and outs of how to host a seminar for your clients as a way of lead generating. And when we say seminars, on page 6 of that, it gives some ideas. So what is a seminar? It could be a first-time home buyer seminar, a home sellers seminar, mortgage hacks, an investor workshop, a real estate planning or wealth building one, a downsizing one, like Pam's going to talk about. Rochelle just did a garage sale one, which she's going to talk about. So the opportunities are endless. And what you're doing is you're creating value to your clients, your sphere, and people that they know that may get them in the market sooner, especially when you're talking about like investor workshops or first-time home buyers. Some people might not think that they can afford to necessarily buy a home and get an investment property now, but so you're actually driving more people to the market and creating those clients for you. So we're not going to go through the whole thing, but go to page 6. I just want to make sure today you guys are aware of the resources that are out there. So, whoa. Okay, that one. So that talks about just some of the types of workshops that you can do, but really the opportunities are endless there. And as you kind of go through, this will show best practices. It'll give you ideas for developing like marketing materials and social media ads. I mean, the whole playbook is like 30 pages long. Is it? Let's see. What
It's
is it?
very detailed.
Yeah, it's really, really thorough. And it talks about,
It also has a calendar, so it tells you what the sequence of events can be.
yeah. So this is just a great resource overall on the concept of seminars. Who here has done some sort of seminar look at all this. Good. They are such a good way to add value. So it's not going to come across salesy. and you're hitting a lot of people at one time.
Mhm.
So let's talk.
And
about
we
some
built
specifics.
this room so that you could have seminars,
Yes,
right?
great point.
So we added the coffee bar so that people could lounge around before and after a seminar, so you'd be having conversations with them. And so take advantage of it because, you know, this is one of the things that Keller Williams is starting to emphasize because people have so many electronic things in their face. And this is a way to pierce through that and have a relationship with your clients and actually have worthwhile conversations with them. And so we're trying to promote them here as well. We have the best facility of any of the market centers that I've ever been to. And that's a lot of them. And so do it. This is the time. Get your
Mhm.
database going so that people know who you are as the market picks back up.
Mhm.
Rates are going down. They'll be going down probably next month. So
And we've talked about this in regards to other events. It's not just the people that come, right? It's all the people that you're marketing to that are seeing that you're doing this, thinking, oh, wow,
Mhm.
she's a resource for, if I want to buy an investment property, right? If she's teaching this class, she must know what she's talking about. And if you host it here and either, partner with some of our vendors or just buy a cheese platter or something, the cost is relatively low to host one of these. So, let's start at the top. First time home buyer workshop. So earlier, actually like 6 months ago, I think Keller Williams came out with the revamp of the book, Your First Home, written by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. And I have some in my office. I should have one here to show you guys. But basically, it's a walkthrough of the first time home buying process and just the home buying process, and it explains what to do. So if you go to Austin, I might have you do this. Go to kellerinc.com because I want to show everyone where to get these resources. If you go to kellerinc.com, which is a sub company of Keller Williams, where you can order the books, that's where we order books in bulk. There's resources that go along with all of the books. So there's a bunch of resources that go with the first time home buyer book. And then there's also some really good resources that go with the millionaire real estate investor and hold and flip. So those can be good too. So go down to, go to the top to resources. So if you're doing this on your own, this is where you find the stuff. Keller Inc. resources, and then do the drop down for Your First Home, the little plus. And then those are all different resources. So do you have the PowerPoint and stuff that I sent you? If not, you can just open it from there. So it has, first of all, it has a whole little instruction sheet on how to access all the materials, right? There are 6 different handouts for use during the presentation, right? Different worksheets and lifestyle questionnaires, things you're going to need for loan application, a little notes taking sheet for, these are all handouts for you to use during your class, pre-made. And then there's a 68-page PowerPoint already built for you up here with notes, highlights in yellow of what you want to change. And even if you take out some of the things to make it shorter, this is brand new, just made for you, right? So as you kind of click through, you'll update some of these things, but it's not out of date like some of the other materials on here need a little more updating. This one is brand new. And so look, it tells you with the stickies where you need to do some updating. So interest rates, things like that. It's always a great idea to partner with a lender, and Josh is going to talk about this in a little bit too, for a first-time home buying class or an investment class, because what a lot of people have questions about is the money side of it. But basically, this whole resource is in a box ready to use, and it's really good slides. So yeah, if you don't want to talk about
Yeah, I
all
like
of them,
the art.
I know the art's good. Oh, and then there's also in there, you don't have to pull this up, but there's a whole marketing plan under Keller Inc. too that gives you exact samples. Oh wait, show so you download the marketing plan from there. No, yep, go back to Keller Inc. Is there something called marketing plan right there?
I think that's the stuff for home, right?
Yep, it's under there. I don't know what it's called on there, but it's the marketing plan, and it has email templates that you can use and email people, conversations for scripts for if you're calling people to invite them. It has social media graphics, a bunch of different social media graphics already made that kind of fits the theme of the presentation. So, and a timeline of the things you're going to want to do and plan for. So it's literally a first time home buyer workshop in a box right there, fresh made for you guys. So, I was really impressed with the content on this one. So who's going to do a first time home buyer class? Okay, I'm going to show you some other resources that are there that are also good. They are not as freshly updated, so we will need a little more updating. But Millionaire Real Estate Investor, go to that book, scroll up, do the drop down. Yep. So there is a whole PowerPoint for that one as well. Some of the information is more outdated, so you do need to like update the numbers and things like that, but click on it still. The one that's a PowerPoint. And then there's a ton of, same thing, there's a ton of different like worksheets and things like that that are all still really good. So this one, it's still good info. So those first couple slides just are like helping you keep going. Those are like telling you what to do and the purpose. And then that's where the information starts. And so this one was made like 10 years ago, but the overall idea is really good still. So freshen it up, use it as a framework or an outline, right? So it's still good data, not as like in a box as the first time home buyer one, but still really good. I don't know what's up with that. I saw that too. Yeah, keep going down. You know, it talks about myths. A lot of people have, especially when it comes to investment properties, that like a lot of people don't think that they can afford it. Different things like that. It'll give you sections to put your own thing in. So use this as a framework. Again, it's a whole thorough PowerPoint. Needs a little updating, but all in all, pretty good. And then there's other worksheets and things like that on there to get ideas. And you don't have to know what you're talking about. I mean, let me rephrase that. You have to have people there. I mean, it's a very common limiting belief of like, how can I teach an investment class, right? Or I don't know, like, do I know it enough? Get partners there, get a lender, get a financial advisor there, and then look up some stats, get information for property management companies. That's what people want to ask about. Know some of the local landlord tenant laws. I mean, just some of like the basics. You don't have to have this thorough thing. Just think of like the top level, what people would want to know. And it's really easy to do. So, okay, close out of that. I want to show a couple more resources and then we're going to hear from some of our agents. Go to up at the very top, go to Flip. This one doesn't have a PowerPoint, I don't think, but there's some really good like worksheets and things like that. Or is there a PowerPoint on that one? No, I think there's just some different worksheets and tools for Flip, which is buy a house, flip it. So click on something just to like, yeah, click on that one. It does, hold on. That one's probably outdated too, but it's still a good framework. Austin, thank you for adapting on the fly. Wait, is this the same one? Yeah, wait. Yeah, that's the same one. Okay, some of the other resources like the workshops or the like worksheets under Flip are more related to flipping. So anyways, kellerinc.com resources is where you can get all of this info. And there's tons of good things to make your workshop interactive too. But especially the first time home buyer. I mean, it even gives you a checklist of like how to prepare and do things bad. Okay, let's talk to some of our agents. Let's start with you, Pam. Come up here. Our very own Pam Wogman. If you don't know Pam, she sits at our Lake Oswego office and one of our top agents. And Pam and Laura James recently did a downsizing seminar and workshop for your clients. So tell everyone all about that.
Sure. Okay. So, and I read a little bit of that workbook. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, cool.
And I love that. And I wish I would have had that before. This was actually a first time event that we had held.
Yeah.
And so part of it, like it said, it's providing value, but also finding a need that resonates with you. Like Mark, I'm sure you do events around, cars. And so it's finding something that does either resonate with us or a need in the community and looking to provide that value. So what this event was we had noticed, Laura's mom, who lives on the East Coast, was actually going through being in a big house. Her dad had passed a few years before, and her mom had been in a big house, all by herself and needed to downsize and move out. But that process is so paralyzing to that age that they almost just remain status quo because it's so hard to go through that. And so she had, learning what her mom was going through, finding, a resource for her that could help her talk her through that. Resources both on an agent level, and we also have partners now on that level that can actually help people through that. And then my parents too, I mean, they've been in the same house here on Lake Oswego for about 40 years, and they're too in a big house, and it's just them. And as I'm talking them through, like, hey, this is what we have to do, we realize there's a real need for that. The boomers, they're looking at making that move and downsizing, but again, they get paralyzed by that process. And so we really found that need is there to educate and help them through that.
Awesome. And who did you have like speak at that event? What was like the structure of the
Yeah.
actual content?
Yeah. So we brought in partners, and partners are great because not only do they really help provide value, but they also help pay for part of it too. So we brought in, for that particular event, there's, so the Springs is a assisted living community in Lake Oswego. And then we also brought in, a partner called the Move Makers. And that was kind of what I was talking, like Lara's mom, there's a similar company out on the East Coast that work with her mom, but here they're called the Move Makers, and we've actually worked with them for years. And they're just a wonderful, like, white glove service that is used to dealing with the elderly, generation. And they just kind of walk through the house, room by room, and are very caring and hand holding. And that process is that really helps. And so for
Like
them,
full service moving.
full service moving, but yeah, I mean,
Like
arranging
packing and
for
everything.
consignment, packing, yes, absolutely packing,
Mhm.
arranging for sales of things that, are you gonna sell this? Are you gonna give it away? Are we gonna, they're just
Mhm.
wonderful. And so that we've had clients that have spoken so highly of them through the years that we wanted to bring them in to get them talk.
That's really great because, we talk about the limiting beliefs of investment properties and first time home buyers being often the money. The limiting belief of downsizing is like, oh my gosh, how, like the whole process, right? The fear of just doing it all. So
Yeah.
by getting in an expert like that, it's mitigating that
It's
fear.
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So then what did you like buy? Did you have like food and drinks or giveaways, or what did you? have to
Yeah,
spend
we had
money
some
on?
giveaways, and we had, again, they sponsored, they ordered food from Elephant's Deli, and we actually had it here. So I agree what you said. This is a really great room for that.
Mhm.
It's easily accessible, and it's a great room to hold seminars in. But so yeah, we had them provide food, and they helped us with the mailers.
Mhm.
One thing, and you might ask me, I was just gonna say how we found this group of
Yeah.
people is we went through the title company and looked at like who had lived in their house. I think we went for 25 years or longer, and then I think we went 25 years or longer and 3,000 square feet or more. So there are a lot of homes and we targeted Lake Oswego because again, we both live here. And so that was how we got our group of people that we knew, like, hey, there's a need there. They've been in the house, like,
I love that,
yeah.
right? That's what it talks about in that seminar book is who is your audience, right? If you're just trying to get everyone, it's not gonna make sense.
Mhm.
These seminars need to be more focused.
Mhm.
So so you sent postcards to those people?
Yeah, we sent postcards. We were able to get a phone list from Title because they can
Mhm.
also have phone numbers, and most of the time they do work. So we got phone numbers, we got addresses, we sent an initial postcard, a reminder postcard, follow-up postcard, made the phone calls. So we had a kind of broader project plan, but we started about 6 weeks out, and then it's kind of plan laid out of how we did that and connected with those people. And it was a first time event for us, so it wasn't a huge, I mean, there are probably 10 people in this room.
That's a good
Um,
turnout. I mean, because think about all the people that saw it, got the postcard.
Yeah,
around it
yeah,
too.
exactly. And I thought to be honest, I mean, because we were hoping like, 30 or 40, but it really is, it's not, the event is great because that's where the value is, and those people and those smaller conversations were really powerful. And we've developed relationships with those 10 people in the room. But a lot of it is about the lead up, to that, exactly that. It's we're getting out there in the community, we're providing value, we're making the phone calls. And whether somebody says, oh, that's not for me, that's not me, and I'm not in that stage, and my parents aren't in that stage, but that's great that Pam and Laura are providing that value in the community, and look what they're doing. So
I love that. Yeah, that's so good, right? Because it's a way of touching people without just being like, hey, remember I'm a realtor, I just sold this, right? You're providing
Right.
value within your
Right.
community. Okay, if you had to do it again for your next one, what would you do different, or what did you learn?
That's a good one, because this was a couple months ago, we kind of have to go back and look at it, because we definitely want to hold it again, and probably be an annual thing.
Yeah.
I would, I guess just specifically for the older generation, like how to register online.
Oh,
We might have maybe a different like thought of like how to, because I think there were some people that wanted to come but didn't know how to go to the link.
yeah, that's real.
It is real. So knowing your market, knowing who you're talking to,
Yes.
absolutely knowing that and what's easiest for them, like getting in their shoes and like how would they want to be communicated with and what's the best way to do that. So
Awesome. Well, that's so cool. And I think it's a great idea and another good touch point. And I think you hit on something really important too, that they started marketing 6 weeks ahead of time. You can't just decide, okay, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to do a class, right? You have to, so much of it is in that
In the
pre-planning,
planning.
the marketing, or you're missing out on a big component of it. So awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pam.
Pam. Hey, Rochelle, wait, you can still come up, Dwight. There's two, but I'm like, wait, stay over there. Rochelle recently did a seminar on garage sales to her sphere, which is really cool. It's a different idea. But I mean, think of a seminar as just an event with knowledge provided. It doesn't have to be as eventful, like classroom setting. So
Yeah.
in some ways a lot easier. So tell everyone about the garage sale seminar, how you got the idea, and just let everyone know.
Yeah, well, I work with a personal home organizer. She's part of my listing presentation too, because she also helps with downsizing. And I was just chatting with her and I was like, I want to do a clutter clinic, but I also want to do something else that like, it's almost garage sale season. Like, do you do anything with garage sales? And she's like, yeah, actually I have a whole presentation on like how to have a successful garage sale and then how to keep the items from going back in your garage once the garage sale's over.
Yeah.
Right. So, and she has all these tips and tricks. So I was like, awesome. So I set it up with her. And this really was more of a how to touch my sphere without being like, don't forget, I buy and sell homes. I buy and sell homes, you know. So it was just a nice way to provide value and reach out and say, hey, garage sale season's around the corner. I'd love to see you. If this would be helpful, come on in. And I had snacks and all the things. And she gave away some free time to come in and do an evaluation too, if like you were wanting to downsize a room or declutter a little bit.
Okay, great. And then does she give the presentation?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant when you said you don't have to know anything. I
Yeah.
meant you can
I don't
rely
know
on,
anything.
you can rely on some of the ones that help with the
Totally.
presentation piece of it.
Yeah.
And then who did you invite?
Pretty much my whole like local sphere. And then also I put it out on like Sherwood Moms Group, Tualatin Moms Group, like some other groups that I participate in.
That's
Well-
great. I think like organizing, especially with TikTok and all like Instagram and
Mhm.
everything, people want to have that
Mhm.
perfect organized pantry and closet stuff. So organizing is going to be a big one. And the garage sales goes right
Yeah.
in with that.
Totally.
What did you do for marketing and lead up?
I sent out a personal text invitation, but then also I mailed a postcard. So I sent out a text saying, hey, look for this in the mail. To my sphere, I also invited other realtors to meet my home organizer because she's awesome and I'm happy to share her. So I invited other agents too to be like, hey, come check it out in case you want to do this too. And I just sent them texts. And then of course I posted on social media. And then her and I did a couple of videos on social media too, talking about like, what are some things you could anticipate from the event.
Oh, like teasers.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so it was a success?
Yeah, we had 12 people come. And so
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
it's always hard to know too with seminars, like, is it better in the evening? Is it better midday? Is it better on the weekend? So it's just like what Pam said, like knowing your audience and like what would work for them and just providing value.
Mhm. And I know it can be a stressful thing of like, oh, are enough people gonna come? But 10, 12, that's good, right? Because
Yeah.
you're having high quality conversations and then you're still marketing to all those other people who
Yeah.
couldn't come.
For
right?
me, it was the marketing piece. Like I really was hosting it. So I had a reason to reach out without being annoying.
Yeah. And then, if you don't mind me asking, how
Yeah.
much did it cost you?
Like $60
Wow.
because I just bought
Right.
the food and the drinks. So,
That's
and the home organizer didn't charge me anything because she was also using it as a marketing option and to potentially get new clients. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So cool. So are you gonna do it again?
Yeah, well, I think the next one we're doing is a junk drawer where you bring in your junk drawer and she shows you how to organize your junk drawer. And we're also doing a
Fun.
clutter clinic But a seminar I did in March though was women investors.
Oh, yes.
And I brought in a financial advisor and we had almost 30 people come to that
Wow.
one.
Okay, talk about that one.
Is that here too?
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I host something here almost every month. So
Mhm.
why not?
Okay, tell us about that one. Who spoke? How'd you get?
A
people-
financial advisor came in to speak about women investors. A lot of women we're very cautious by nature. And so the whole presentation is geared at like how to invest, whether it's in stocks and real estate and just your money management overall. And so we again invited my whole sphere. I sent out postcards, did social media, did video with her, but we had about 30 come.
That really shows the need or the
Mhm.
desire to learn that info, right?
Yeah.
So, you'll see like in your niche of
Mhm.
people in your sphere, what's more sticky. So
Yeah.
that seems like a good one to do again.
Yeah, and
Okay.
she had 10 from the 30 sign up for like personal consultations afterwards too. So,
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome, Rochelle. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Round of applause for Rochelle. Okay, we have one more. Austin. Austin Ramey from J Hill Property Group. And the young professional, the KW Young Professionals.
Mhm.
So tell us about, you guys, your team does a lot of events, but tell us like what kind of like learning seminar type events you guys do and how you kind of do the marketing around all of your Villa Bros.
Yeah, so that's more like on the event side.
Yeah.
But as far as seminars, we do first time home buyer seminar and a downsizing seminar, and then working right now to put together a selling seminar. for
Cool.
People to sell.
Where do you get that content or who presents it?
So we present it and partner with like a vendor partner, so a lender, staging company, inspector, really like anyone that we want to bring in to
Cool.
kind of ease that burden. And then Sophia usually puts together all the like marketing collateral. It makes it look really pretty. So
Awesome.
grateful for that.
And then do you guys just invite like your whole database or do you do targeted lists or what does that look like?
Yeah, so kind of a little bit of everything. Kind of depends on who the like target market is. So for the first time home buyers, I focus on folks that have come through open houses,
Mm,
renters, personal sphere, friends that are looking to buy. And then we also include like all that on like newsletters, Facebook, social media, and then sellers, obviously people in the database that we've either worked with before or sphere. And then yeah, it kind of just depends, I guess, on which
group it
routing.
is. And then where have you hosted these?
We kind of host them all over the place. So the first one I did was at the Old Market Pub.
Okay.
And then I was like, this is way more expensive than the Market Center. So
Oh, yeah.
no, that was pretty funny because that was pretty small turnout for the first one. I think there were about 8 to 10 people, and I think there was a $250 minimum. So I was like,
Oh.
well, help yourself to drinks and pizza, guys. Like, but I had one scheduled for here. We hosted them at our office. Paul, you did it at the Halem Center.
Yeah, cultural center in Newburgh.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I have one scheduled at Ordnance Brewing in Wilsonville. So kind of just wherever.
So you guys keep these kind of on the rotation. How often do you do one of these?
Try to do one each month.
Oh, wow.
That's great. And are you guys, you do 2 a month? Awesome. Come up here, Phil. Ah. I know, right? No, it's exciting. So do you guys do them together or does each teammate kind of do their own or how does that work?
I'm a newer agent. I started in October and I started off by shadowing Austin.
Okay.
And so kind of learned the ropes that way. And I live in Newburgh. So a lot of my sphere, I'm 23. So I'm at that age where a lot of people are coming out of college, signing contracts to jobs. And so in that client sphere, I look for all of my friends that are getting into the workforce and looking to buy their first home.
Yeah.
So I usually have pretty decent turnouts at mine, and I actually reserve a smaller room at the cultural center so I can have a smaller setting. So I think the room sets like maybe max 10 people. Most I've had is 6. And it's fantastic for connecting on a one-on-one basis.
Mhm.
And having a lender there, because that's the biggest part for first-time home buyers, is like, how do we get pre-qualified? How expensive is it? What are closing costs?
Right. Do I really have to pay off all my debt or save up, 20%, all
Yeah.
the questions, right?
And some of the best parts about first-time home buyers is that they don't know that they can interview a ton of agents. So if you're the first one in the door, you're often the first one they call.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you know, it kind of goes to all these seminars, but especially with first time home buyers, you're really providing a lot of value, right? Like you're really teaching them things that they don't know. So it can be rewarding and fulfilling in that way too. What content are you using? Are you using like the same kind of PowerPoints? Or
Yeah,
Very
we
good.
do, we actually don't use a PowerPoint, we
Mhm.
bring in a budget sheet and we have our own like marketing that Sophia puts together for us, and we have a structure that we all abide by. Which is really helpful for setting the tone, introducing the lender, and then going through the entire buying process while we're there and what they can expect, timeframes, and then the wants and the needs and all that stuff. I'd say probably the most helpful part is the lender part and the budgeting aspect. A lot of people don't understand how easy it is to buy a home.
Mhm.
And so that's part of the structure we provide. So it's nothing crazy. It's
Yeah.
not rocket science.
I know, I love it. Okay, so Old Market Pub, there was pizza and beer there. For the other ones, do you guys provide food and drinks, or what is that?
Yeah, so just kind of like light packaged snacks like you would have at an open house, like
Mhm,
pretzels, cookies, maybe a bottle of wine or champagne. Just
mhm.
have some different offerings that if people want to, they can kind of help themselves.
Okay,
Yeah,
So really low budget.
yeah.
and I didn't ask you guys, but what time of day are you guys doing? Are you doing these in the evenings typically, or?
I usually do weeknight evenings, so like
Mhm.
Wednesday, Thursday, kind of just depending on like the schedules going on. Like I scheduled one during spring break and didn't realize it. That was a bust, so don't do that.
Right, scheduling is important.
Yeah.
All right, what else have you guys learned as you've done more than one?
I personally like the smaller format with
Mhm.
like maybe 6 to 12 people, because then you can
Mhm.
have those more intimate conversations and get to know people. I think that is better than talking in front of like 50 people where everyone's more quiet and they
Mhm.
can't really like ask the questions they want to.
Yeah,
So I'd rather do like more smaller ones than fewer larger ones.
yeah.
For my home buyer seminars, I just bring in snacks from our office and some drinks, sparkles, and then afterwards I invite everybody. We're like right down the street from Old Town Bar and Grill in Newburgh. So afterwards, I'm like, if you come, I'd love to invite you over to this bar and we can have a couple drinks or an appetizer or whatever, so we can continue this conversation. And that's been really great because most people have more questions than what we cover in our hour and a half seminar. And it's
I love
another great
that.
opportunity to have a personal relationship with them. So
So cool, you guys. Okay, so you don't do PowerPoint. So what other like, you just do some like budget worksheets? What else?
Yes, we start with a budgeting worksheet because it is ridiculously surprising on how many people don't even have a budget.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like a necessary starting point to
Right.
even see if you can buy a home. So we start with that just to kind of get that mindset about finances started.
Mhm.
And then we have a home buyer guide that we usually give out during the buyer consultation, but this kind of serves as the same thing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the takeaway that they get to bring with them, and that we work through that throughout the process. But yeah, don't usually use PowerPoint.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And then when we partner, I do it with Chad Grober, and he brings in these academy booklets, and we encourage everybody to take notes. And then this budget is also a workshop for them to take home and discuss with them or them and their partner if they came alone, to take it all down the line. And it also opens the door for them to have more conversations and reach out to Chad and have more conversations for what pre-approval looks like and getting pre-approved, and that's free to get pre-approved.
All right. So cool, you guys. Austin and Cole, give them a round of applause. And then speaking of Chad from Academy, let's have Josh come up because Josh and Chad are both great. Josh is happy to do a first time homebuyer seminar with you or any sort of seminar. So speak to
Sure.
that, and then we'll get the overall lending update of what's going on in your world. But
Sure.
to
So when I
invest.
talked to Austin about today, talked about seminars and investor seminars more specifically.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, well, let me just put together a list of some, it's not exhaustive list, but it's a good introductory list to lending programs that are good for investors that they might not know about. But before, I guess I talk about this, just sort of in the theme of seminars, overall, I've done several first-time homebuyer seminars. More recently, we've changed the name from first-time homebuyer seminars to homebuyer seminars, just taking the first out of there. And the reason why is because there's a lot of people that, owned homes for a while but maybe don't now, but they feel like, okay, well, I can't come to this first time home buyer seminar because I owned a home 5 years ago. Well, didn't want to exclude them, and that's, I feel, helped a little bit with.
That's a good tip.
And then in the information that goes out, put in, sort of as a subtitle or a bullet point that, we will be going over first time home buyer programs as well, in addition to. So I feel like that's helped a little bit. And also you talked a lot about the ramp up. So the ramp up to your seminar is really important because like Pam, she left, had mentioned, sometimes people have a hard time registering or whatever, trying to figure out how to get on there. But a lot of times people will be interested, they'll register, but maybe they're not able to make it. So reaching out to those folks, offering maybe just one-on-one consultations about the information that you were going to go over. Sometimes you can meet with them even before the seminar or follow up with them after. Say, listen, I'm sorry you couldn't make it. Let's, get together. And that's almost sometimes as important or more important than the actual seminar, getting that one-on-one consultation time with the folks. With investor seminars or just talking with investors in general, these are some of the topics that I like to go over. So of course, you've got your regular conventional conforming loan. You can get into a single family residence with as low as 15% down. We also have a great 10% down investor program. You can get up to a fourplex at only 10% down and use the potential rental income towards qualifying towards the program. So that's awesome. We have what's called a DSCR loan, which allows you to use also the fair market rent for for that rental towards qualifying, and you can get up to an 8-unit property with this program. And so this is a really cool program. You don't have to show personal income as long as there is enough income to cover the mortgage payment off of the rental analysis that the appraiser is going to do. Then that's what you need to qualify for this particular type of loan. If the rents come back, they're not sufficient to cover the debt service on the payment, then you just have to show enough in reserves, this whole calculation in terms of covering some of that gap. Unfortunately, that's not the 10% down program. The SCR one, you got to put a little bit more down for that. We also have one that does short-term rental. So for a long time, you couldn't, it was all based off of traditional, long-term rental. But now we've got a couple of broker programs that allow for short-term rentals. You have to use an appraiser that knows how to do a fair market analysis for short-term rentals, but they're out there. And we've had some success with that for folks looking to get into the short-term rental market. Additionally, you got bank statement loans, which is great. So you got your self-employed borrowers who want to buy a house, but they don't show a lot on their taxes. But you look at their business income statement, there's plenty of revenue coming in. You can do whole calculations based on that from 1 month up to 24 months. Obviously, the 1 month, bank statement loans, higher risk loan, so it's going to be a lot more high cost. It gets better as you go farther out on your bank statements. And then for nationals, you can buy, even though you may sometimes have a hard time finding loan programs for them to buy primary residence. Lots of great programs out there for investment options for those folks as well. So again, not an exhaustive list, but it's good to it's a good one to get people talking and get people's brain going in terms of investor programs.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
what are the conforming conventional loan limits right now?
$726,200.
So if they had 10% down, it'd be 800,000 basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'd be maybe fourplex, probably threeplex.
Depends on
Maybe.
how far you want to go out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the investor amendment, can you, if the investor going 10% down and being occupant of one of the units?
No, on this program, you cannot be, none of the units can be owner occupied. So, yeah. And that's based off of a long-term rental or of a traditional rental, not a short-term rental. So, yeah, good question. What else? Other than that, any other questions for me?
What's going on with mortgage rates and?
Yeah,
overall?
so yesterday they got worse, but today they have gotten a little bit better. So
Okay.
it bounced back a little bit, still lots of volatility in the market. The Fed keeps coming out with different, statements and indicating they're gonna do this or that. And then you, of course, have these, things in the news like banks failing. Most recently, we had First Republic taken over by JP Morgan this weekend. That, of course, always scares people, but the fact that JP came in and propped them up so quickly helped to quell that a little bit. So there's just a lot of noise out there, but every time there is, that is an opportunity for you to reach out to your people, keep in communication with them and be that advisor for them. So utilize it, don't run from it. Cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome, Josh.
Oh, I've got some flyers that I'll put in the back here if anybody wants.
Oh, for
on
the
that-
investor.
On that slide. Mhm.
Awesome. And you're available for seminars.
Yep, absolutely. Available for seminars. Let me know. Happy to do first time home buyer investor seminars. Everything.
Downsizing.
Downsizing, that's what I'm. As just somebody who comes in as, a partner, we've got a lot of great bridge options for folks that work for downsizing type programs. So.
Awesome.
Perfect. Yeah.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
We have the quote of the day.
What is it?
Utilize it, don't run from it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good
Utilize it, not run from it. I was just thinking, Ramona, our agents could teach a investing in commercial seminar, loop in Ramona to help you on that.
Yeah, get lots of,
Yeah, come really
on now.
quick.
Jeez, come on.
Mhm.
I know, I was like, last night, I was like, I got a new computer, something on it, it's like, which means you don't have bookmarks if they didn't port over. I'm like,
No, no.
stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, we should probably do slides, get
Mhm.
organized. Lots of stuff happening, lots of conversations,
Commercial managing director.
uh,
How's commercial real estate right now? Busy?
It's busy because a lot of people, the short-term rental market, ADUs is a big conversation. Are they commercial? Is it residential? What is it? Right? So a lot of conversations, and that's, if you want a good seminar, I've talked to a few agents who've had that type of seminar and they get filled up pretty quickly.
Short-term rentals.
Yeah, short-term rental or ADU conversations. And there's companies, because I live in Vancouver, I know a lot of, like, I'm all over Portland and then I live there. So I know there, and I'm sure there is here, companies that build, they specify in building ADUs.
Mm.
And they'll come in happily and help you with the seminar. Like, what does that mean? One builds them offsite, pulls them in, the other one builds on site specifically to the site. So those are things. As far as what's happening in commercial, I know there's a lot of movement, right? And we know what's happening downtown Portland and whatnot, but it's still a strong market. Like we are seeing a lot of industries move in, companies. I don't know, my phone just, since I took this position, it just has blown up. So many people, so
That's
many
excellent.
agents, if you, or people who have questions, like you want to know how to speak about commercial so that you can make the connections between your client and a commercial agent and determine, how to play that out moving forward. Because so many conversations I've had with residential agents is they lost out on transactions because they simply didn't know what questions to follow up with. So don't let that happen to you. Like, just reach out. We're gonna insert a new segment into the newsletter that goes out
Mhm.
about this so that you have that conversation going. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cause don't miss out on a $20,000 referral check from a commercial deal,
yeah, seriously. Yeah.
right? Just cause you.
Yeah, if you get into conversation with your clients and they're start to talk to you about the fact that for their business, they're looking to downsize, they're looking for more space, they look to lease, they're trying to grow out of it, they're shrinking, whatever it is. That's your opening to be able to create a lead, pass on to Ramona, who will help you pick a realtor in the commercial community. They'll help them do what they want to do, and then you collect a referral. So you can list their house and collect a referral fee. And the referral fees have been big, very big. So, I know the biggest one was what,
65.
65. But typically you can get 5 to 20,000 for leasing. So it's a great thing to know.
Mm-hmm. Don't miss out because you don't know the conversations. Yes.
I have a question. I'm hearing whisperings of some of the larger institutional owners starting to get concerned with their loans and larger assets. Are you seeing any of that realized in properties being sold or things moving more often? What are you hearing about some of that chatter?
Yeah, it's definitely a conversation that's happening out there, especially when you hear banks and when there's like, okay, so some of the banks were funding startup businesses, and every business has some type of commercial holding. So like the larger companies have larger needs. So in one of the things that we're Karen Chalk is a manager for all the Regis properties in the area, Portland, Vancouver area. And in a conversation with her last week is what she's seeing is that it's a combination of people with their different type of work needs now. That the hybrid model of coming into the office just a day or two a week and working at home, those are the two. And so they don't need the same type of space. And then reviewing, like, what is their business like financially? I will have to wait and see.
Yeah.
It's a big question, but there's definitely a shift, but we're also seeing, even she was saying that she's still seeing industry moving into our area and moving out. And just know, like, as you talk to your clients too, those industries migrating from one market to another, you can still facilitate those conversations anywhere in the United States, right? It's just reach out and let us help you. If you're hearing whispers specifically about a company or people that reach out and let us help you with that conversation. So, yeah.
Awesome. Good question, Ted.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ramona. We appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you guys. Have a wonderful week. Yes, Mark.
There is one common element in today's meeting, all these presentations. What about your ability to speak?
Oh, good one, Mark.
For last week's meeting, I went back to my Toastmasters Club, and we are going to do an open house specifically designed for this office on May 19th.
Okay, May
Friday,
19th.
May 19th, 2.5 weeks from now, that, yes, 6:30 a.m. We had a speaker who came in and modeled the speech last Friday. It is designed for you to understand what it is about Toastmasters, the ability to communicate, how that can help you in your business as an independent contractor. We will be
I love
doing
it.
that on May 19th. And then it just so happened this morning, there was a BNI group that was in here. They're going to be attending the open house as well.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
So
I love it when you guys have things here, right? Came in this morning, I'm like, what's happening this morning? Bradley had a new group here, and I love it. It's buzzing.
exactly. Being an improved speaker gives you that authority when you're stepping in front of your clientele and your audience. So why not do it?
Absolutely.
Instead of 6:30. The meeting starts at 6:35 a.m. So make sure you're here by 6. That is one hallmark of Toastmasters is you start on time, you end on time, because by implicit agreement, everyone has somewhere to be at 8 after 8, correct?
Right. Being a better public speaker will always be a useful skill.
Yeah.
So.
And so
Julie.
the title company will be here to show you
Yes.
to target those people, like when you're looking for a certain demographic, they can show you that, and then also they can do it for you.
Yes, let me just plug that really quick. Julie set up a specific farming class with one of our title partners tomorrow. So thank you for organizing that. And yeah, it goes right in with what we were talking about today. If you need a list for a seminar, they have all the data.
They can give you all the information, tell them what you want, or they'll help you figure out what you want or need.
So
And
cool.
Pam's was a classic example. Let's find people in Lake Oswego who have been in their homes for over 25 years.
And it's a good, yeah.
And it's a larger home, so they're probably gonna have to downsize. And so that they tailored it to the professionals that they brought in, right? And then they got phone numbers so they could call everyone. So
You could do home maintenance seminars based on like how long people have been in their houses, you know, design trends. There's
yeah.
so many
Well,
good.
don't forget our
seminars.
partners because I think one of our agents, hopefully Noah, is gonna do a cooking class at Basco for his client group. That's his passion is cooking. So he was gonna reach out and do that.
Fun.
And remember, you can hold decorating seminars at CFM. So if you haven't been to CFM, you really should go through it. It's perfect for seminars, the warehouse style, big open space. And
They have the designers.
they
there.
have the designers there that will come to your event so that, you know, you can break your group into small groups, your larger group into smaller groups, and they can focus on tile or carpet or whatever. So it's and it's not far from here either. So it's a super place to plan a client event.
Do they still provide a percentage off for real estate agents who open an account?
No, but they do provide us with the builder rate.
We have the
We have a
contract
special
rate.
deal.
Yeah, oh, that's okay. Good.
So tell them you're Keller Williams
Yeah.
Portland Premier
So
and they will
that-
hook you up.
Very
Yeah, so we have a special rate with Globe for KWPP clients and agents. CFM, Basco, and I just about have Sherwin-Williams done.
Oh.
Awesome, you guys. Have a wonderful
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you all for being here.
Bye-bye.